Okay, hi guys, gals, people of the world, anybody who's watching this. I appreciate watching this. This is going to be the start of the meta game jam. So what I'm doing is I'm doing some pre-work stuff, pre-thinking stuff, and anything that I make or I share is going to be something that everyone will have access on the 17th to. The reason again for that is I want to be fair. I don't want someone saying, "Oh, you had an unfair advantage during the game jam." No, anyone had access to anything that you wanted to use here. Okay? Anything I do prior to the game jam, again, everyone has access to it. All right, so the meta game jam, win prizes, blah, blah. 5 days, 16 hours. Again, it's the 17th, coming up this Saturday. What is the meta game jam? Simply put, metagames are about games. More specifically, metagames are that comment or deconstruct, parody, satire, design, game mechanics, games development, or game culture, and or heavily feature the use of meta references such as breaking the fourth wall or other metafiction elements. Breaking the fourth wall is like if the character says, "Hi, I know you're playing a game. I'm your character you're controlling." That is breaking the fourth wall. Deadpool does that a lot. If you haven't seen Deadpool, Deadpool breaks the fourth wall. Provide a level of abstraction above an existing game, gamification, ARGs, analyzing opponents. Ooh, that's interesting. Strategies and esports, fine. Tons of example here, official Discord server. Again, this one's cool because the guy running it is kind of connected it he's a community member of the Ludum Dare community. So as a Ludum Dare community member, he's been more active than I. He's really got a good jam going on. There's 242 have joined, and again, I'm using this as a reason to use Godot 3, and hopefully this will be my first complete game using Godot 3. That's why we're looking at this. Okay, so guidelines. I just want to make sure that I'm not breaking anything. Okay, there's like all these YouTubers or streamers, and dude, come on, Xavier. I don't see. Oh, actually, I totally see title pending. I'm a jerk. I was looking for Beyond Games, so I'm totally here. Okay, right, cool. Anyway, back up. All right, can I start thinking of ideas ahead of time? Yes, just don't start making the actual game until the start time. And remember to scale back your ideas. I have an idea. I already have mechanics already drawn out, and I already have something that I'm going to use. Anyone watching this is free to even use my idea. I mean, you can't copyright ideas, but I'd love to see how you like maybe change it or implement it in a different way. Maybe you complete the game jam before me, because I don't know if I can actually make the game I can make. That's another reason I'm putting in my assets out there that I make, so that you, or anything I use, so that you can just basically finish what I start. Yeah, 14 days. You can check all the rules, regulations, so forth and so on. These are all example games, okay? And you can check all this stuff on the link below related to the meta game jam. I also will be for people that attempt to that look at this channel and actually watch this stuff and put at least high in most of the videos related to most of my videos related to learning Godot 3. I'll consider you like a pseudo student, and if you're one of my pseudo students and you enter the game jam, out of all the pseudo students I have, I'll just give like a small $5 prize. I know it's nothing, guys. I'm kind of broke, okay? So it's a small $5 prize. However, if you do enter and it's relatively good, you might win like a $100 prize from like the actual people that are submitting games. Okay, so good luck to anyone who does this, all right? Now, let's look at the time really quick, because I don't want these two to be too long. It's been about 4 minutes, fantastic. I'm going to tell you what I'm going to be using. I'm going to be using the Space Rocks Godot game tutorial, because it's got a file that you can I totally subscribed to this. I guess I didn't update it. Well, it's got a great file that you can use for Godot 3. Now I know what you're thinking. Well, wait a minute, that looks like it's Godot 2. Yes, but son of a gun, dude, the guy who did this, where are you, Space Rocks? Okay, click this. How is this playing in the background? No wonder my stuff is like taking forever to load. He actually moved the project to Godot 3. And so why that is cool is that, you know, any of the changes, the big major changes that happened in Godot, he's already updated the file. So I'm really excited about that. You can click on his links and you can find the build. So I'm going to be using this, and the reason why, and this is kind of, I guess, the big lesson, maybe the title of the video, is cheating, guys, like in a good way. Asset, as Jim Sterling had brought up, asset flips. Jim Sterling also said, you know, talent is an asset. So just because you use pre-made stuff, how you make it unique and different and your own is something. So for me, I'm going to take this as a shooter and I'm going to make it more like heatsink is my goal. Do I have a heatsink picture here? No, I don't. So I'm looking at making heat signature, not heatsink. I'm looking at making a game that looks like heat signature for the jam. This is kind of my goal. It's just to look like heat signature. It's not going to be a full clone of heat signature, but it's going to take some of the mechanics of, like, you know, how the bodies are rendered and how the bodies die. And I think I can fake this pretty well. And maybe even do these like character pictures pretty good. I've scaled my idea back. So this would be icing on the cake, maybe the second week if I'm in a good place. But again, I work and I have a kid, all this other stuff. But this is what I'm going to do. I'm going to churn this space shooter and make it kind of look like heat signature for the game jam. That's my artistic style, and I'm letting anyone borrow any of those assets. If I pre-make them, they can use them for the jam themselves. Hopefully they can make something unique, more unique, or just finish the game jam, okay? I'm going to X this one. All right, so that's that. We talked about that. What else do I need to mention? Player picks one. Oh, I can mention my mechanics, I guess, later as the game jam starts. I don't want to. It's something I don't want to. I get a little antsy. I want to give a lot of help, but I don't want to give too much right away. So that will be that. I guess I could do a quick note on Days Studio. Even though I'm going to be using Godot for the coding, I am going to be using Days Studio for some of the art. And the thing about this is that Days Studio is free, but the thing about it is that be careful because there's a lot of great free assets, but it is something where it's a paid model. And I got some things on sale from the mid-madness catch-up. And again, the way the license works is you can't use, let's just click on something. You can't use the files, the 3D files themselves. You can't ship that in your game unless you buy an interactive license. I'll click this on right here so that we can cover some of the stuff with Days. And the interactive license means you can actually ship the 3D with it. Now this is okay for if you bought something like this, which is a standalone figure, but you got to be really careful with something like, let's see, like this guy. My game's a little sexy, so we'll make this kind of sexless. He requires the Genesis 8 male. So not only would you have to, like, if you wanted to put him in full 3D, you'd have to buy this license, but you'd also have to buy the Genesis 8 male license. So I don't know if I can find that right away, but I'll try. You'd have to buy a license for this, as this would be a separate product. And the Genesis 8 figures, these base figures are free. So that's just something you want to note. You can export them to Blender, and I assume you can export them into Godot 3 through a Blender file. And this is the interactive license. This is not the rendering license. This is actually going to be for. So there's two different licenses. Standard license is anything 2D rendered is your copyright. So if I make anything 2D rendered for the game jam, I'll share that with you guys. That's perfectly fine under this license. But the 3D, any type of 3D assets, or even say certain files, like the texture files, I cannot give, because that would be a breach of the standard license. That wouldn't be a interactive license, which you have to pay again another $25 to $50 for. I love you guys, but I focus on 2D for a reason. I just understand 2D, and there's no reason to do that. And even if I did, I'm not supposed to just distribute those files. It'd have to be through a video game. All right. That is it right now. Oh, Oh, thank you, Kids Can Code. He said good luck. All right. I'll catch you guys later. Let's see. What are we at? 10 minutes. That's perfect. Again, this is the video to just set up and talk about the metagame jam, and what I'm doing to pre-plan and make the game. I hope you guys submit something during it, and if you do, heck, just say hi a couple times and link me a game, and in the comments below. Or let's see. You can also find me on Itch. I'm Manam Games, and you just like follow me. I'll follow you back, and yeah, we'll just see what happens. Okay. Insert catchy phrase here. Hope to see you guys in the game jam. Bye.